How often do you turn to the internet ratings before you decide to go see a movie? Is this a thing we're doing? Okay. Well, it turns out that IMDb had to make some changes to its rating system for The Little Mermaid after it became a target of what's called review bombing. So that's when online trolls and bots, they deliberately try to lower a film's score or rating. And in this case, it is largely thought to be because Ariel, of course, the main character in The Little Mermaid, is played by Halle Bailey, an actress who is Black. Okay, so review bombing. I mean, what do we make of this trend? And does it impact the way that you go see a movie in the first place?
It impacts my desire to go to a website. You know what I mean? Because I think they're imploding their whole business model by not sort of regulating this. It's happening right there. And I think internet users are, no, I'm gonna take that back. I was gonna say we're smart enough. No, we're not. Never mind.
No.
But when I think about the crowd of people that are doing the review bombing, in many cases they're racist and homophobic, I guess I get either it's a combination of worked up and angry, but also I can only laugh at them, thinking about how they think they're so clever and like, yeah, I'm gonna get ya, I got ya, by them doing this thing, and then thinking about viewers who actually use the site in an organic way, being able to see through what they're doing very, very quickly and very, very easily. So I think the majority of people who use those sites wouldn't go to the website and be like, oh, so-and-so doesn't like this movie, and that would change their mind to not see the movie. So I think it's ineffective, childish, and dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Really well at the box office, though, right? So this didn't not
killed
impact.
at the box
I'm really
office.
happy to hear that.
And they've done that, they've done it to a lot. They did it to Black Panther. Also made a lot of money.
I mean, you pointed this
out. And
out.
the Star Wars.
It's particularly targeted towards movies that feature women, feature LGBTQ+ characters, and feature racialized characters. So
or remakes. It's like modern remakes where they're having a diverse cast instead.
Don't touch my childhood memory.
Ariel is a mermaid who's white and red-haired, okay?
Yeah. And a dragon can't be black.
Yeah.
A dragon can't be black. Like, what? It's a dragon.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it would be interesting. Like, there have been cases in the past where there have been fan bases that have been so passionate about something, and they've kind of used their power for, I mean, good, it's arguable. Do you remember the whole controversy around Justice League movie?
Yeah.
And then the fans were so up in arms because I guess the studio had made some cuts, and they knew that Zack Snyder, the director, had made an original cut. So they forced, by going online and causing a whole bunch of stir around it, they forced the studio to release Zack Snyder's cut.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, I mean, an interesting example of how fandom can be used maybe for good.
Those are known for DC Toxic Bros. That segment that forced the studio.
They can bully a studio into releasing something.
It's so toxic.
Okay, so maybe Family Guy is a better example of fans who like galvanized together and been like, okay, we need this thing back. But I think for the most part, what we're seeing is this toxic example. And I don't know, for me, the way I use Rotten Tomatoes, right? A lot of times. Like, I just kind of look. I was saying with Jan Arden a couple of weeks ago, she's terrible at picking movies, and I would say this to her face. So I go on, I'm like, here are some movie suggestions, and I'll look at the aggregate, which is usually the audience rating and then the tomato score. And I think the tomato score is usually a mix of like critics.
Those are professionals,
I think so.
Critics.
And usually it's pretty reliable. If you get like above 80%, you can know probably this is a pretty good movie. But I'll just say on my own this past weekend, I was looking for a movie and I chose John Wick. I hadn't seen it before. It's now got 4 parts. People clearly like this movie. It had an 88% aggregate. It was terrible. I hated it so much. And you can come for me. Go for it. It's fine. I thought it was garbage. But the thing is that's okay. Like, I saw the movie, and I cannot like a movie, and I would write a thoughtful review about it. That's different than these people.
I was just gonna say, that's healthy criticism.
That's right.
And it doesn't mean people can't like The Little Mermaid. You're allowed to not like it.
That's right.
But just don't be a
racist. I will say, this made me think, well, what's the fix, right? Because clearly in the Little Mermaid's case, it didn't work. Little Mermaid is doing gangbusters at the box office, even though people are trying to put this down because, you know, a person who has a tail and is a mermaid, they don't like to see the color of her. She's fictitious. And so it didn't work. But on the other hand, if there are people like you who do go to Rotten Tomatoes, like, what is the fix? I think to assume that people are smart enough to figure it out, like, you're right, not everybody is smart enough. But I don't go to review sites. I trust what I hear from friends and family and people who have similar tastes. But I'm gonna say something really controversial, okay? Everything Everywhere All at Once was a massive movie this year. It won all the awards, and I love the actors. And I said, oh, great, I'm gonna sit down with Ryan and I'm gonna watch this movie. I'm gonna see what all the hype is about. And I'm gonna just like finally go, yes, Asian representation. And Ryan and I watched it. It was a chore. And we got to the end and we were like, what was that? I don't know what we just watched. And I'm gonna tell you, I felt bad saying that. And I said, I think I'm just so dumb. This movie must have just gone over my head because the world is in love with the movie. But it's okay because I watched it and I can critique the art. And this is not about trying to subvert the hierarchy of power in Hollywood. So I support what the film represents and still not like the movie.
That's right.
And I think therein lies the difference. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We've got lots more discussion and debates on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.